What it do, pieces to beat you up. We'll watch the damn tape. Next, we gonna get into Unrivaled's debut. 2 games on the slate for Friday night. The Lunar Isles versus the Mist, and the Rose versus the Vinyl. First game. This one, this one was classic 3-on-3 basketball, back and forth, fast paced. 3-on-3 to me, really all about your guards and your wings. If you got athletic guards and wings that can run and dribble, you got a dangerous squad. And with Napisha Collier, they got the best of both. They got Skylar Diggins Smith. She can fly. She scored 21, hit the game winner. Collier had 27. The Mist, Jewel Lloyd had 30. Rakia Jackson had 15. Jewel Lloyd in this game was balling out of control. 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 9 from three-point land. Had a personal vendetta in this game. You can see it against Skylar Diggins Smith. Went at Skylar Diggins Smith like it was a regular season WNBA game and it was the finals. I mean, blocked her shot and just palmed it. Had Skylar Diggins Smith in early foul trouble, had to sit down early in the first. You can definitely tell the stuff from Seattle, the stuff that went on that they don't want to talk about, carried over to this league, and Jewel Lloyd was making her presence felt. Now everybody will show the meme at the end. They'll make a meme out of Skylar Diggins Smith hitting that game winner and doing that little shimmy and a little eye roll. But Skylar Diggins Smith had her hands full in this game. Make no mistake about it. The second game, the Vinyl won 79-73. The Vinyl, led by Enrique Ungwale, Ryan Howard. The Rose, they have Kalia Copper, Angel Reese. Angel Reese had 10 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists. Kalia Copper had 24 points, 6 of 10 shooting. Ryan Howard was trying to make a name for herself. A lot of people don't know about Ryan Howard. She plays for the Atlanta Dream. They were in that revolving door on that last seed in the playoffs with the Washington Mystics, and eventually the Chicago Sky got that seed. But Ryan Howard plays for the Dream, and she was a nightmare last night. 33 points. Dearica Hamby had 17 points. Dearica Hamby and Angel Reese, they let these girls go at it. They let them get physical and let the play go. Real physical. It was a total different contrast from the first game. The first game was more finesse, open play. This one was a little more rugged. It still had its transition moments, but it was a lot of physical play. It was a lot of bodies on the ground, and there was a lot of people flying in the stands for some reason in these games. I mean, it was crazy the amount of women that would leap and just disappear and end up in the third row. But that happened in both of these games. Chelsea Gray with 21. Same, just like the WNBA. Chelsea Gray's consistent. She gonna make them spectacular passes. She gonna get the offense going. So it was good to see on certain levels. There was a lot of things I noticed in this style of basketball with these women. In particular, you can tell they've been told to cut the bullshit out that they had in the WNBA. Not sure if it's because they have an equity stake in it now, or they've been told. But you can clearly see on the court that there was more sportsmanship. It was more like watching a college basketball game where these girls are athletes and they're just playing basketball. Yes, it's competitive and their competitive nature shows, but there's still a respect. there would be hard fouls. Like Ray Burrell got decked by Angel Reese in the Rose final game, and she made sure she was okay. She patted her, let it. Hey man, I got you good. And Ray Burrell went to the bench, got her. She basically got the breath knocked out of her. But you don't see that in the WNBA. It's in the WNBA. Their mentality, for some reason, is we're in the arena and this is gladiators, and we're going to fight to the death. And it's very weird. It's weird to see it in the WNBA, and it's even stranger to see it over here not take place with the same people that play in the WNBA. So clearly, something was said, or they know they gotta behave a little better, because now the crowd is way smaller. So you can't say, "Oh, the crowd was." There's no crowds for racists. You can't say there's a racist crowd. You can't use those excuses. So now it's time for accountability, and you can definitely tell they're trying to be accountable. Which leads me to another thing I observed yesterday. The crowd was dead. I went to a high school basketball game on Thursday. In total, it might have been 200 people, and that's being generous, in that arena on both sides. Not a big gymnasium, and they were going nuts in a high school game. And this was in the JV and varsity. I watched two games, JV and varsity, and there was adults, not a lot of teenagers, not a lot of high school students, and it was energetic. The crowd at Unrivaled was just like, it wasn't anything raucous, nothing. It was, man, there was people on there. They only showed the crowd a few times, and mind you, the crowd primarily is on the baseline behind each goal. There's only a few people behind the players and the scorers table and stuff like that. Nobody back where you're watching the game. There's nobody in front of you that you can see. All you see is like a purple facade where they got it covered up. The crowd is behind the camera. So they only pan to the crowd a few times. There was nobody wearing their merch. I noticed. There was people on their cell phones. People just having general conversation. It was almost like you were in a Starbucks. That's how the crowd was at times. Just like a Starbucks. Like a little noise and people doing stuff on their phones and their tablets and having conversations amongst themselves, not really engaged in the action. And it's a weird dynamic because you got so many of these players from so many different teams that you got people on both teams that you like. So it's hard to pick a favorite. It's real hard to pick a favorite. You got former college players, teammates on either team. You got teammates of teams on teams. It's a weird dynamic. Just like last night, the vinyl, they have some people from the Dream. So they have players that familiar, and that's good for the league that they put some players together that have a lot of familiarity. It helps with the cohesiveness. Other things that I did not like about the league. The commentating is god awful. Lisa Leslie can't stop freaking talking. She constantly kept saying the boom boom room when she was referring to the paint. And besides saying the boom boom room, always constantly trying to make the comparison to not really mentioning the WNBA, but mentioning the WNBA and how this league has the best players in the league, in the world, right here. And she just kept trying to upsell Unrivaled. Just sell it. And it was like, lady, we're watching. Shut up and let the play decide whether we like it or not. Not you just kind of constantly selling us. It was like listening to a used car salesman. Wah, 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 wah. Just like, shut up and then Boom Boom Room and the hip hop references to, oh, she's in her bag, she's in her bag. Oh, look, Angel Reese hit a 2-foot jumper. Immediately went down, scored again. She scored like the first 4 points for the Rose. And immediately, Lisa Leslie says, see, I told y'all she been working on her game. And I was like, Lisa, it's the first quarter. Angel Reese ended up shooting 3 of 7, scoring 10 points. Because their scoring on the free throws is based off of where you shoot. So some free throws are worth 1 point, some are worth 2, and then some are worth 3 if you were shooting a 3-pointer. So she ended up with 3 of 10, 3 of 7. She scored 10 points. She was 2 of 2 for the free throw line. And Lisa Leslie's commenting about all the moves and the work that she done all season. Calm down. Pump the brakes. It ain't that serious. If Caitlin Clark had played in any one of these games, that crowd would have been fully engaged. And them 850 people, which I doubt very seriously it was 850 people, because they never panned and showed you the crowd. They never panned and fully showed you what that arena was and how packed it was. They never showed. They just told you, oh, they were waiting outside. That was it. But the commentators, the guy and Lisa Leslie, they can both go. If you watch a game, my suggestion is turn the volume off, mute it, put on some jazz. Also, in both games, the referees killing the vibe of the game, the flow of the game. The refs no different than a WNBA game. If it's back and forth, defensive, a block, or a steal, and they're in transition the other way, refs had a way of screwing up things. In the Vinyl Rose game, Lexi Hull tapped the ball out of bounds. Teresa Weatherspoon challenged it because they wanted possession. It took those guys about 3 minutes to look at a video and see that Lexi Hull touched the ball when it should have took 15 seconds. They gotta fix that. They gotta fix that. The best thing about their league is the run and gun and players being put on an island. Because in this league, you will get exposed quick, because if you got a guard who's quick and shifty, she can make you look bad. She can dish. If you go help somebody, if you go look and help somebody, the ball's going right by the help to an open person for an easy shot. And it happened all night in both games. So this league is really going to expose, and it should grow players, because you're on an island. You're a defender, and the person in front of you is who you got to defend. You're not going to get any help. There's not 2 extra people that can come and help you now. You're by yourself. This league, if Caitlin Clark was in this league off a transition, it would be like them early Golden State Warriors with Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, and Chris Mullin. It would be run and gun and dish and dime. But a lot of the same stuff that you saw in the WNBA, up to a certain extent, especially with the bigs, I saw last night. I saw Angel Reese do the same thing, catch a lot of rebounds off of her misses. That happened last night. Aaliyah Boston, yeah, she hit a mid-range just like Angel Reese hit a mid-range. Looked good, even though I'm not impressed with neither one of them's form. It was exactly like they did on their videos in their training. But at other times, they still looked clumsy. Aaliyah Boston still has to work on her footwork, still has to not look so robotic to be 6'5". She should dominate. Angel Reese still was reverting back to I'm just going to bully. And De'Erica Hamby was like, I'll accept the challenge, I'll bully with you. And I'll block that shit. And it happened last night. And the refs let it go. But other times the refs would, like I said, the refs would get into the ebb and flow and they would kill it. There was times in both games that I just went straight to sleep, and I would wake up and say, okay, Let me watch this in the morning because it's too choppy. These refs are slowing down the pace of the game. The 18-second shot clock is great. It keeps them firing up shots. And for the most part, they both teams shot in the 50s. So I mean, it was nice to see the ball go in on a consistent basis for the most part. But it's just the refs. They got to fix the refs. But I really don't see how this league is going to make it. I'd be curious to see how the ratings come out when the ratings come back, and see how they are, the TV ratings. That's their only hope, is if the ratings, because you're gonna get a peak from Friday and Saturday. It's 4 weeks from now that's going to tell the tale. Or how are they? Because they're not competing against anybody but basically NBA and maybe a college game or two that's on at the same times. They're not going up against the NFL. They're not dumb. But I'd love to know what you guys thought about Unrivaled. To me, it was just mid. It was just something to watch, just to watch. I wish Caitlin was in here, but I understand why they're targeting Flau'jae Johnson and Paige Beckers, because this league would benefit more from just having the college girls that don't make the WNBA and some that do coming into this league and doing the 3-on-3 and kind of developing and continue their careers, and then maybe going into the WNBA once more teams and more spots come available as women age out and retire. But that's my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Tell me what you think. If you're not going to watch it, or you did watch it and you loved it or you liked it, I'd love to know. Let's just have that conversation. New subscribers, thank you for joining on board. I hope you stay with me. I'm trying to build this thing. Old subscribers, thank you for continuing to push me to make this content. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications when I upload a next video. And until next time, folks, peace.